Hello everybody and welcome back to the Brickazoid's Den. Along with Star Wars Visions on Wednesday, there was also What If. Can't forget about that show. I know a lot of people have because it hasn't been really very interesting or grabbing people's attention recently. But that does still exist and I still did watch it and I'm going to make a video on it. So this episode was episode 7, which was What If Thor Were an Only Child? And I don't know. It was fun, I guess. It was pretty fun. It was just fun, I guess. Honestly, that was about it. I wonder if they just saved this episode for like when Visions came out because they knew it wasn't maybe as engaging, as serious, as deep of a story compared to some of the other ones. This one was just kind of almost like a giant joke, almost. About Thor and him just throwing a giant party. I don't know. But we'll get into the episode anyway. Alright, what if Thor were an only child? Anyways, here we go. We basically start off with Darcy Lewis in a camper van with Jane Foster. Jane Foster's trying to contact somebody about an anomaly, which ends up being the Bifrost, and Thor enters onto Earth from the Bifrost to party. The Watcher goes through Thor and Loki's brotherhood, and Odin returned Loki to the Frost Giants in this universe, instead of keeping Loki. Odin sleeps as Thor watches, and Thor must now study to become a king instead of just partying all the time, while Frigga goes on her own, getaway trip almost. So Thor must behave. Heimdall is to watch over Thor, and Thor is not allowed to party, but Thor wishes to party on Midgard, or Earth, and the Asgardians party with humans. Jane Foster sees Thor, and Howard the Duck is there. Skrulls are also there, which was very cool to see. Thor and Jane Foster introduce themselves, and they talk about how Thor basically destroyed a planet with using his parties. Howard the Duck and Darcy Lewis watch as Jane Foster and Thor talk as well. We kind of continue the party as Grandmaster becomes the DJ of Thor's party, and Jane Foster wakes up in, I believe, like a Las Vegas hotel or something, and like all Asgardians people are all over the place. And S.H.I.E.L.D. shows up at her hotel room. Thor and everybody is still sleeping there, and Jane Foster tries to stop S.H.I.E.L.D. from coming in or asking too many questions. S.H.I.E.L.D. wants to kill Thor, basically, in this universe, and Maria Hill is the acting director because during the party, Nick Fury got run into by Korg. Korg just, body-checked him as he was running to go do something at the party, so now Maria Hill is the acting director. Jane Foster and Darcy Lewis are interrogated by Maria Hill and S.H.I.E.L.D. on the helicarrier, and S.H.I.E.L.D. decides to use Captain Marvel to attack Thor and hopefully eliminate him. Thor once again is partying, and the frost giant Loki hangs out with Thor. They're like best friends. And then Captain Marvel begins to come in hot. Captain Marvel talks to Thor about leaving Earth. Captain Marvel then punches Thor, and then we have a pretty long fight between Captain Marvel and Thor. Thor hits Captain Marvel into the UK, and then Captain Marvel hits Thor to the US. And then the fight continues, and then they get to the sky, and then they land back in France, I believe. Captain Marvel failed her mission in defeating Thor, and Jane Foster gets a call from him. S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't need Jane Foster or Darcy Lewis anymore, and Jane Foster calls Thor, and Loki answers. Loki drops Thor's phone and breaks it, and so there's no contact between Jane and Thor anymore to warn Thor that the S.H.I.E.L.D. is coming to kill him. And if there is a Thor and a Loki, there must be an Odin and a Frigga and a Heimdall. So the Asgardian creatures are kind of messing up Earth. I know Surtur, I believe his name was burning through the Statue of Liberty and stuff, just causing absolute mayhem all over Earth during their parties. And then Thor is taken by Captain Marvel while Jane Foster uses some sort of amplifier from Dr. Eric Selvig, I think his name was, to call the Heimdall, whatever. Captain Marvel powers up for her nuclear punch while Jane Foster is sent to meet with Frigga about Thor from Heimdall. S.H.I.E.L.D. then prepares their nukes just in case Captain Marvel does fail in defeating Thor, and then Frigga uses her magic to talk to Thor. S.H.I.E.L.D. stands down, Thor needs to clean up his act before Frigga arrives, and Thor needs help from Loki to stop everything, but it doesn't really work out. Frigga uses Heimdall to travel around, the party disperses, and then Thor needs help cleaning up. He uses his power to get the attention of everybody, and the partygoers help clean up Earth, or Midgard. Frigga arrives on Earth and sees Thor's study group, as he said, and Captain Marvel comes over to give Thor information on Earth so that Frigga can believe him that he was actually studying on Earth and not partying. Thor's hammer is still decked out, so he kind of gets caught in the end. Thor then finds Jane Foster and asks Jane Foster on a date. They lived happily ever after, or did they? Because then we have this ending where the Watcher goes like, what? Wait, what happened here? And Ultron shows up with all the Infinity Stones in his armor, and Ultron is actually like Vision Ultron, like Age of Ultron was, I believe, planning out. So that's pretty insane. That is quite a difference. So that Ultron has like basically all the power ever, and when Thanos originally had it in the actual movies, while this universe, Ultron has all that power, all the Infinity Stones, and also is Vision in like Ultron armor. So that's pretty crazy. He's definitely going to be, I think, hopefully a big bad for the end of this series, because it seems like based off of the mid-season trailer for this show, is that they're going to be doing like, you know, all the main characters from each episode will kind of come together as like the Galactic Heroes or Galactic Guardians or something, and hopefully most likely defeat Ultron and maybe like an army of Ultrons and an army of zombies and things like that. I think there was a description for the final episode of the season, but either way, you get the point. But episode 8, what is that one going to be? So after looking it up, I forgot that there was still a storyline about Tony Stark landing on Sakaar and meeting with Gamora, I think. And this is kind of where Gamora becomes like Thanos Gamora, like leader Gamora type thing. So there's still that storyline, and that'll probably be episode 8, and then episode 9 will be all of them coming together. So yeah, I don't know, I guess there's still stuff to look forward to with this show. Although once again, I don't think too many people are really watching it anymore. They've kind of dropped off the What If train, which makes sense. It's not as good as we may have hoped for, but yeah, that's about it, I guess. Once again, that's about it for this video. If you enjoyed this little What If discussion breakdown of the episode, which I thought was, you know, it was overall pretty alright, I guess. Generally just a pretty simple, fun little episode that they kind of threw in here as well. But yeah, like once again, like I said, if you enjoy this episode, do the common YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe. I will see you in the next one in the future. And we're almost done with What If, so maybe the series is going to come to a close soon. See you guys.